busy is the enemy of strategy.
I love that.
If you're busy, you're in trouble. And we're all busy, right? When you ask somebody, hey, how you doing? How's it going? Oh, I'm so busy. And if you hear yourself saying that, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Busy's bad. Busy's a 4-letter word. And most of the busyness that we have is answering emails. So using an AI tool where it'll read the email, it'll give me 4 different answers, basically a yes, no, maybe, or custom. It writes the response for me. Now I read every single email I send because it's not always right.
Yeah.
You're going to be wary of AI hallucinations, or it's just not quite how you would phrase it. And I'll change things and I'll send it. But one of the things that this is doing is making me not busy anymore, because I can get through emails in 30 minutes or less. It depends on how many. I average between 100 and 150 emails a day that I need to read. That's not including junk.
The very latest on economic development, workforce, and industry sector news in Southern Colorado. Here is Business Digest Weekly with our host, Dirk Hobbs.
Good Friday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Business Digest Weekly. I'm your host, Dirk Hobbs. I'm really glad you're with us today. It is Friday, July 18th. We're about mid-year, literally mid-year. And it's hard to believe we are turning the corner into the latter summer days here, the dog days of summer, and all is percolating here in Southern Colorado. Lots of business news and information. I'd like to direct your attention to our new website, socodigest.com. We have a brand new facelift out there, new news sections, and we're going to be tackling a lot of different things in ways that perhaps you've not seen us do. We're creating a dashboard on some of the main key metrics that we're measuring on a regular basis throughout Southeast Colorado. So unemployment, workforce numbers coming in, going out, the water discussion, the energy discussion in general, land development, and some other key things that we're just keeping our eye on to make sure we have a pulse. So they'll somewhat be on a barometer, if you will, and you'll be able to kind of see the experts from around the region who are reporting various statistics and data for us to just kind of keep in the know as our large communities grow. And we were very pleased to feature Walsenburg earlier this week on Fox 21. We showcased a lot of the regentrification and revitalization of that community. Tremendous amount going on down there. So a big shout out to our friends in Walsenburg. And, it's only about 90 minutes away from Colorado Springs. Pueblo's about the midpoint. And if you're coming up from Trinidad, you probably have a 30-minute drive up to Walsenburg. But they are spending a tremendous amount of energy and effort embracing their categorical history in the mining industry and the role they played in mining in Colorado. And they are creating a lot of unique venues and outlets down there. Nice workspaces. They've redone the Mercantile, a century-old building down there that has now become kind of a commercial space on the bottom with cafes and retail and things like that. But on the upper levels, they have taken the top 2 and created working lofts. And there's industrial kitchens in there, and folks are setting up meetings. But there's no question they are intentional about investment in Walsenburg. They've regentrified and rehabilitated several buildings. I know there was a garage down there. It's now the Canary Brewery, I believe it's called, or the Curious Canary or something like that. But it's a brewery, obviously, and you've heard the metaphor of the canary in the mine, right? So it's really cool. And upstairs, you get a great look at Spanish Peaks, but they are definitely spending a lot of time and energy doing some business attraction. It's a very pro-development community, and it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds over the next several years. So thank you to the good folks down there. We got a great story in the next Business Digest coming out on that. If you're not a subscriber, you can easily become one, socodigest.com. Keep up with all the news and information from basically Denver all the way down to Trinidad, Canyon City to Kansas. So hitting about 55,000 people, and I got to tell you, they're eating this up because there really isn't another business conversation in the region at this level. And we're very interested in hearing from your industry sectors. What's going on in your specific industry? How does the workforce look? Are you short? Are you in need of assistance? And are you understanding new technologies that are coming in throughout our current lifespan here? We're going through an iterative cycle of technology learning like probably few others in history. Artificial intelligence is playing a huge role in that. And today I am fortunate to have Jonathan Liebert. He is the CEO of the Better Business Bureau for Southern Colorado, and he's sitting across the board from me. And we're going to have a great conversation. I encourage you to lean in, grab a pencil or pen and paper, and take some notes here. Check out the BBB online while we're having this chat. But he is putting on a number of presentations throughout the course of the year that are helping businesses understand how to embrace this, not be afraid of it, but embrace it. And then some of the cautionary elements of not participating in it and not being involved, because some folks that may be in your rear view mirror today will be lapping you if you don't necessarily understand how to utilize and implement AI. So anyway, we're going to get into the thick of that, but first I want to introduce you to him like we normally do with our guest, Jonathan Liebert, CEO, BBB. Welcome, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me today.
Hey,
it's going to be a fun conversation. It's never boring, never dull.
It's never boring, never dull. Now, you're an author already now, right?
That's correct. So not quite yet. So the book is being edited right now.
Oh, very
I've
good.
actually written a book on the subject.
Okay. In anticipation of date?
I'm hoping before the end of the year. So in the late fall is what I'm planning on.
All right. Well, I like to spend about 2 or 3 minutes just getting to know the person across the board from us so the folks listening and watching can better understand who you are, where you come from, all that good stuff. So give us Jonathan Liebert 101.
All right, I'll give you the scoop. So, so actually born and raised in Colorado Springs, Colorado, Liberty High School graduate.
Oh, wow, you're a native.
I'm a native.
Okay.
So, but when you grow up in Colorado, you kind of get this urge to go, well, check out other places, but, growing up skiing and snowboarding, it's like, I want to go live on a beach. So after college, I moved to Guam. I had an aunt out there.
Definitely a beach there.
It's a good beach vibe, and had a blast. I actually worked at a hotel out there, lived in the hotel. They should have done a reality show on that lifestyle. It was fantastic. Had so much fun.
Okay, I got to unpack that at some point.
Oh, yeah, good stuff. But, when you're out there in the beach and the weather's perfect, and some people are going to think, absolutely, Jonathan, what are you thinking? It's like, I miss the weird weather out here. I miss the snow. I miss the cold. I miss the strangeness of, you never know what you're going to get. It was too predictable out there in Guam.
Yeah.
Love the people, but it was just a little bit, island life was a little bit too slow for me.
I would imagine a little bit claustrophobic, too.
It definitely was.
How big is Guam?
Not big enough.
50
I found
miles
out.
across.
Exactly. So felt like I hiked the whole island, and after that, it was like, what? I need more things to do and stuff. Good. But I love the people. I love the culture. I love the food. That was my base of travel for many years. I just kind of traveled that side of the world. So I was out there in all parts of whether it was Thailand and Indonesia and Bali. I went to Egypt out there, but I figured I got to come back here to the stateside and get serious again. So.
Okay. All right. Well, where'd you put your degrees to work?
So interesting question for that. So I got my bachelor's degree at University of New Mexico, and then I got my master's degree in psychology from University of Colorado at Denver. So I'm actually, in another lifetime, I was a therapist and psychologist, and now I'm doing things with business. But more specifically, I'm a social entrepreneur, which means I balance both. I'm all about purpose and profit, mission and margin, and how can you use business as a force for good to solve large social issues and provide all kinds of value back to the communities that we serve.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that little background on you. We have a little bit of familiarity with you. You and I have known each other in the community for a good year or so, and you guys are doing yeoman's work out there. I mean, there's this AI discussion it's been hot and heavy for a minute, but at this point, if you're completely ignoring it, would you say you might be behind the 8 ball as a business owner?
Absolutely. If you completely ignored it or are really kind of afraid of it, I would say you could be out of business in a couple of years because this stuff is moving so fast. There's a lot of great tools that small businesses can access.
Yeah.
And tools and technology that small businesses may not have had ever because it was just not affordable. It's affordable now.
Yeah.
So you got to be less afraid of AI, and you got to be more afraid of the person who knows AI better than you.
Sure.
Putting you out of business.
Okay. Well, when did your passion for AI kind of tee up?
That's a great question. So I had a friend approach me in early 2024, so not that long ago. It feels like 10 years.
Yeah.
And say, hey, Jonathan, have you heard of this thing called ChatGPT? I said, no. He's like, yeah, I hadn't either. I found it on TikTok and I downloaded it and check this out. And so he showed it to me. And I watched as it kind of wrote this script out for a speech. He just gave it a prompt, write me a speech on something random. And I said, and you didn't plug that in there ahead of time? He's like, so it took me a minute for my brain to kind of get what was happening. He's like, you try it. So I downloaded the app and I said, write me a speech, a 3-minute speech on what is the importance of social entrepreneurship. And it wrote this speech and it was pretty generic, but at the same time was pretty good. And so for me, it was this aha moment of like, what is this?
Cool.
Right, exactly. I'm like, this is, so I started learning more about it. And very quickly, as I learned about it, just for me, because I like to keep up with technology things, this isn't like any other technology I've ever seen. And I quickly figured out that this is something different and this is something that is fairly profound. And I started to train myself more and then train my team. They kind of came with me. Some were willing, some were not. They grumbled about it, but we got there. And now, we're clicking along at a nice pace. And as soon as I saw how much it increased our productivity, how much it increased the way we're getting our work done, I had this realization of like, what about for other small businesses? So I did my research, because I'm trying to learn for myself. There's a lot of free classes out there still today that you can take. Great companies, great businesses that are offering it, paid stuff, free stuff. But the problem is this, then, and it is still now, you can't go and find a class typically that's specifically focused and geared towards a small business owner or a nonprofit. They're geared towards for-profit companies at an enterprise level, maybe a medium-sized level, and they're probably going to be one data scientist kind of talking to another data scientist.
Got it.
So that's not helpful.
Right.
So businesses need somebody that can break it down, give them the scoop, and tell them, here's a tool you can use, here's what you would use it for, and let me demo it for you.
Okay.
And then they get it, and then they're off, and they can go do it on their own. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here, is make it practical.
And it's not just workflow processes, although that's part of it.
Part of it.
Yeah. But there's a lot more that can be done with it. Is that a fair assumption?
Absolutely. I mean, what people don't realize is that, if you're using it to help you answer emails, that's great. That'll help increase your productivity for that piece. You can have this do sales lead generation. You can have this do strategic planning. It will do social media for you. It'll help you build a website in 10 seconds. You can build a PowerPoint presentation in 10 seconds. I mean, you can just do all of these different functions on your team, and it'll provide a ton of value for you and help you make a lot of things easier. But just again, the strategic planning and the sales lead generation and prospecting, those for most businesses, that's awesome.
All right, we're hanging out with Jonathan Liebert, CEO of the BBB here, and he's also an AI specialist. Can I call you that? I mean...
Definitely. I'm not an expert, I tell people, but specialist, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Okay. But I do want you to grab your pen and paper, folks, because you're going to get some pearls of where to start. Some of the tools that are out there, the name of them, where to find them, how to implement them onto your desktop, mobile phone, and laptop. And we're just going to unpack some things gently here so we don't scare you away. But this is an essential part of doing business today. So stick around. We'll right back with Jonathan Liebert.
My experience with Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group has been top-notch. The whole orthopedic group, they've worked very well together. Even when I've gone through PT or needed to get my collar prosthetic, everybody's been just right on top of it. It's all centralized and the communications have been awesome. Even though I had my nervousness about going into surgery, I was still very confident. I knew I was going to be okay. Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group is definitely getting me back to my life and the things that I want to do.
All right, we're back here, second quarter Business Digest Weekly. I'm your host, Dirk Hobbs, and I want to give a quick shout out to Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group. They help us underwrite this program and bring us subject matter experts like Jonathan Liebert, CEO of the Better Business Bureau here in Southern Colorado. And I have learned a lot about the BBB just knowing Jonathan. And this is not your granddad's BBB. This is a very sophisticated group. They are bringing useful tools to their members, and they are teaching them how to be involved and responsible as it relates to their enterprise and its social impact on their community, as well as giving them tools like AI. This is a great conversation. I want you to grab a pen and paper while we unpack this, because Jonathan's going to go a couple layers deep here and give our rookie business owners, in terms of AI is concerned, you may be in business for 30, 40 years and you know everything about your business. You know where all the widgets are, how much things cost, how much time things take. But AI may be able to vastly improve your particular station, your particular business, and help you accelerate and keep up with the changing times, because they are changing. It's unavoidable. And whether you are a landscape company, a restaurant, or a Fortune 500 company, AI will touch your business, and you have to be involved. You can't claim ignorance on this, folks. You got to get involved. Jonathan, welcome back, my friend. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks again for having me.
Absolutely. So let's start with some AI 101. Let's give them the basics, some of the tools that are out there. What's the difference between them? Because there's all kinds of icons on the App Store. So we got to be clear about what all those different things are. And then let's start to marry this into application and function into the business. So,
yeah, absolutely. So what I like to tell people, first of all, we're talking about AI in a very generic way. AI has really been around since the 50s.
Okay.
And so most people, we have kind of heard it more now. And what people are really excited about now versus just AI in general is something called generative AI. So that's the thing that kind of got the world's attention back in 2024 when ChatGPT, they released it in 2023, 3.0 is what it's called. That's not even, you can't even use it anymore. It's gone.
Oh, it's gone.
We're all using 4.0.
Okay.
5.0 is coming soon. That's going to change the game again.
Oh, geez.
Coming this summer.
There you go.
Is what I've heard. We'll see. But again, generative AI is where you use something called, it's called a large language model. So that is just basically these very sophisticated algorithms that take information and data in from you. It's called, writing a prompt. And then it pulls information from the internet or other places, PDFs, documents, URLs, whatever you tell it to do. And it looks for patterns and informations and answers, and it creates information back to you. And right now you can get this in text is phenomenal. They were also able to do this with images, photos, and some of the new stuff coming out with just kind of texting and prompting something. It produces a video. This stuff is unbelievable. Google has something called Veo 3, where if you just kind of look that up and look at those videos, you can't tell the difference between what's fake and real.
Oh, wow.
Good news and bad news.
This is the deep fake stuff.
This is deep fake stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also amazing for a small business owner who maybe you couldn't shoot a commercial, too expensive.
Yeah.
Or you couldn't have a video that you wanted to share with your customers or on social media. Well, now it's very, very affordable to do these types of things. But the big company that most people have heard about is OpenAI. That's the company that owns ChatGPT. Since
Where
January.
are they based, Jonathan?
So they're all in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
So these are all primarily, Silicon Valley, California.
These are not
companies.
Chinese companies, for those who are a little anxious
So
about
this
that.
is a good question. There are some big Chinese companies that are producing some really great tools. I tell everybody this as well. Thanks for bringing this up, Dirk, is that I would steer clear away. Now, I would usually tell people, steer clear away from the free things, right?
Yeah.
They're all free. There's a free version.
There's a reason for it, too.
Right. We'll come back to that. But I would really steer clear of the stuff that's from China. And again, the reason why is because typically you got to read their privacy policies. Read those. Some of them don't even have them. That's your cue.
Yep.
What are they doing with your information? Where are they storing the information? As most of the time, there's not a privacy policy, or the privacy policy for these Chinese companies is very vague. But they're stealing your information. They're giving it to the Chinese government. It's not going to be accurate either about questions you ask about the Chinese government and so on and so forth. So just know that all these companies are using your data to train their models, but the Chinese ones are not as friendly as the American-based ones.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, it's like, steer clear of those. If you're going to use it, go in knowing that there's a level of risk. Do your research before. But to be honest with you, there's a ton of great companies based here in the United States that are awesome.
Okay.
So just use them.
So let's get back to your OpenAI ChatGPT
Yeah.
4.0. Okay.
So OpenAI and ChatGPT is the one that most people are using. Since January, I'm doing classes. We'll talk about that later in the program, but I've taught about 1,000 people, more than 1,000 at this point. And as I poll everybody that comes through class, I would say probably about 75% of business owners in Colorado Springs at least are using ChatGPT. But again, the big ones that most people like and use is ChatGPT. Google Gemini is another one. Perplexity is one that people are using as well. Anthropic or Claude. Microsoft Copilot. If you have an iPhone, Apple Intelligence is the AI thing for them. Apple needs to catch up.
Yep.
You got some work to do.
Interesting.
But it's in there. You can actually link your ChatGPT account to your phone, and it will compose emails and stuff for you, which is quite handy.
Yes.
And there's others in there. So Meta has one, Grok is another one. But most of the time, I would say people are using Claude. They're using Gemini,
as in
Copilot.
CLAUDE?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. But for bang for buck and again, they all do think they're better at different things, right?
Okay.
And so here's the thing I tell people is that because they'll always ask me, what's the best one? Well, right now, the best one is Gemini.
Yeah.
That's going to change in a month. So today is this one. Tomorrow it's that one. So you want to pick one that you like and enjoy. And so I'm using a couple. I'm paying for ChatGPT as an example for BBB. We're on that everybody has an account, and I can share things through it, which is super handy. I use Gemini for certain things, and I have a Copilot account as well because it answers my email for me, which is phenomenal. And I can make PowerPoints and Excel spreadsheets off of this thing.
Okay, so it answers emails. Let's just start with that myopic example. So I would imagine most people in any indoor occupation spend 2/3 of their day in front of the computer responding or creating email. All right.
You are 100% correct. and let's be honest, like we're all, this is where people spend most of their time. And it is because, and here's, I'll qualify it this way. So I have a mantra that I'm trying to live by this year and probably beyond. And I'd urge everybody listening, this should be your mantra too. And it's this, and it's simple. Busy is the enemy of strategy.
I love that.
If you're busy, you're in trouble. And we're all busy, right? When you ask somebody, hey, how you doing? How's it going? Oh, I'm so busy. And if you hear yourself saying that, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Busy's bad. Busy is a 4-letter word. And most of the busyness that we have is answering emails. So using an AI tool where it'll read the email, it'll give me 4 different answers, basically like a yes, no, maybe, or custom. It writes the response for me. Now I read every single email I send because it's not always right.
Yeah.
You got to be wary of AI hallucinations, or it's just not quite how you would phrase it. And I'll change things and I'll send it. But one of the things that this is doing is making me not busy anymore because I can get through emails in 30 minutes or less. It depends on how many. I average between 100 and 150 emails a day that I need to read. That's not including junk. And so this is what this does for me, just as an example. I'll give you a number here. This is probably saving me alone, just answering emails, saves me 8 hours a week. So I have time back.
That's the day back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's how people need to think about using these tools. One, it's going to help you make more money if you're strategic and not busy, but also it's going to help you increase your productivity so that you're not in the busy work, not seeing the next thing that's coming or the next opportunity. People are down in the weeds. They need to look up, see the forest and trees.
Okay.
And so use AI to get rid of the busy work, offload that stuff so you can be strategic and have a better way of doing business.
Let me put this into application. I'm sending you an email. I'm doing it old school, hammering out key by key, right? Thinking about it, going back and forth, scratching that, reformatting that, whatever. So I got 5 minutes into this email. I send it to you, and it's basically a question about your upcoming AI summit in August.
Right.
And I want to get to that in a minute. But I've got a few questions in there, okay, about it, cost, location, all that stuff, okay? You receive that email. What is happening in Jonathan's world that's different from what just happened in mine?
Yeah, great question. So because so you have to be on Microsoft 365, and there's other tools out there. So this is just the one I use. There's others. But again, because I'm using Microsoft 365, I paid for the upgrade for Copilot.
Copilot, yeah.
It's like $30 to $40 a month per user. And again, you get the whole Office suite. So I get PowerPoint, Excel, Word, I get everything. I get Teams. And so what that does is your email comes in, I might glance at it or I might not. I'm just going to hit reply on my email. And then what happens is you wait a couple seconds while AI reads the whole email chain, and then it comes up with 4 responses. So one is send information about the event. Not sure about the email or some other thing, or just a custom one. So it generates like a choose your own adventure scenario. So I'll just hit reply, wait a second. Yeah, I'll send you information. So I'll select that one because it will kind of answer 3 ways. Select that one and it writes a whole email.
Okay.
And then I'll go through because it's going to answer your 3 questions. Now, the 3 questions, it may not know all the information. It'll still generate a response. So then I need to go back in there and change it. So maybe the date's off or the price is off, but it'll put something in there.
Got it.
So the structure is there. 90% of it is done. Sounds like me. It's how I would speak because this is what's interesting about this technology is it learns. It learns who you are. You got to teach it. You got to train it. And that's the thing that people are like, wait a second. Or here's what I hear a lot. Well, I used it. I tried it. I wasn't impressed, Jonathan. Well, why? Well, it was really generic and it sounded very robotic. It's like, okay, so usually for the first time you use it, that's what's going to happen. And most people will ask a question like they do a Google search. That's not how you use it.
Got it.
This is very different. So you got to prompt it. You got to be specific. And so this is the rule of thumb, garbage in, garbage out. The more specific you are, the more context you give it, the better answer it's going to have. If it's super generic, like here's the example. In Google, you would ask, what are the best restaurants in Colorado Springs? It's going to come with a list. If you go to ChatGPT and ask, what are the best restaurants in Colorado Springs? It'll still give you a list. It just won't be that great. You've got to define, well, what do you mean by best restaurants or just best? So then you would tell it, best restaurants in Colorado Springs. Best means to me, most views, best customer reviews. I want Google ratings. I want Michelin stars or whatever you want. You got to qualify what best means to you. Best business in town? Are they BBB accredited? Do they have great reviews? I mean, you got to give it context, and then you'll get really good results.
I got to take a break here, Jonathan. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off because this is cool. And stay with us, folks. Back with Jonathan Liebert, CEO of the BBB here in Southern Colorado, and we're talking about AI in your business. Stay tuned. All right, we're back here, second half of the Business Digest Weekly, and I'm hanging out with I'm gonna call him a subject matter expert. I know he's not gonna endorse that, but he calls himself a specialist in AI, artificial intelligence, and how we can apply this into our businesses, folks. The clock is ticking, so literally every month that goes by, you are potentially 60 to 90 days behind the curve as it relates to AI implementation and how you can optimize that within your workflow, within your business dynamic. And this is volumes of books. So we're skimming the surface at 30,000 feet. And what I want to do is encourage you to take note of a few things right here. Number one, AI Summit. It's a full day summit. It's August 15th. Where is it, Jonathan?
So it's at 2525 Garden of the Gods Road. It's that old Verizon building at the end of Garden of the Gods.
Okay.
It's in the the Innovation Hub.
Innovation Hub.
Correct. Building A, for those of you who know what that is.
So we're going to give you the URL, and I firmly, there's 250 seats. I'm sure they'll make room for more if they can, but these are already filling up right now, and I've got a seat in there myself because this stuff excites me. I get really jazzed up about new technology, and I want to implement it, but I want everybody who's in business in Southeast Colorado to take note. Again, August 15th, AI Summit. It's called Blaze AI Summit, and the URL is Blaze, BLAZE, the letter AI, summit.com, and you can register right there. Before the end of July, you get $50 off your admission. Do I have that right?
That's correct.
Cool. And after that, you're going to pay full price, but it's still worth every penny. And if you're a member of the BBB, okay, you can probably access it through that URL as well. It's bbbsc.org. And you can navigate or search for Blaze AI Summit, and it'll get you there as well. But folks, this is a great opportunity for businesses, large and small, here in Southern Colorado to get in the conversation, start to recognize terms and definitions, what applications do, what they don't do, how they blend together, how they don't, and start to get your business back into control. Because if you're like a lot of us, you're scrambling most days and you're spending an inordinate amount of time in front of mundane tasks that perhaps AI could be doing for you. Jonathan, we were talking about restaurant reviews as an example, or best restaurants in town as an example. And you do that in Google search, whether you voice it or type it in there, it's going to give you the list, right? And it's the list according to whatever algorithm is set up by Google.
Right.
ChatGPT, when you ask it that question, if you ask that same question that way, it's going to give you a pretty generic list. It's probably going to be less impressive than the Google list, frankly. But that's not really the way to use it. Unpack how we should use it,
Right.
and what that difference is.
Yeah. So in Google, the way it works is you ask it kind of you type this search query in, and it pulls this information out for you. And you've got these 10 blue links. And let's be honest, nobody goes to page number 2. So you're really only looking at page number 1.
Right.
And you got to click those links, and then you got to do your own kind of research from there. Now, Google has a new thing on the top, which is the AI summary. And Google's changing stuff on the way search is working. So we'll talk about this in a little bit, but sorry, everybody, for those of you who are using, we all use SEO, right? Search engine optimization. It's how people find your website. SEO is dying. That's a problem for everybody. Okay. So some replacing it called AEO.
So we just took a bullet to a bunch of companies. Okay.
Yeah, because people aren't using Google.
Yeah.
They're using these chatbots to ask it a question, to prompt it, because then it will give you a very specific answer. I'm looking for great restaurants in Colorado Springs that serve this particular meal, or it's by this chef that have great reviews, and I want dinner recommendations for 5 people that love Italian food. Be specific, and you write this long prompt, and it will give you very specific information based on what you asked. So it's giving you the answer versus it's a search. People don't have time for search, but we want the answers. And so this is important because all business owners need to know this. We're leaving the data and information age, right? Or the data and information economy, because it's all based on information and data. Who's got time for all the data we've got? We're going to enter into something that people are starting to call the answer economy. So your business and your brand are only going to be known and only going to be relevant based on if you've got a good answer or not. Because if you've got no answers or a bad answer, AI is not going to serve you up as a recommendation to a customer.
You're invisible.
You're invisible. You've got to have good answers, and you've got to be trusted. Trust is more important than ever with these AI bots. They love trust. They love BBB.
They love BBB. Did you hear that? All right. SEO versus AEO. Let's just dive right in.
Yeah, let's get into that one, because this is something everybody's going to want to hear. So I got news for folks, and that news is you got to update your website like today, like right now. And so here's the deal. Most people are starting to it's in mainstream media now that people are hearing that SEO is doing some weird things.
Yeah.
Google will be fine. I know people are sad, to hear that maybe Google's in trouble. They're not. They'll be fine. But Google's monopoly on search will potentially go away. And that pay-to-play system, because that's what it is, it's not working like it used to. And so that's why you see a bunch of weird stuff with Google, this AI-enhanced search and the AI reviews and all this stuff. Google, the way it works, wants people to come to the website, their website, type something in, they get you 10 blue links, you click a link and you go somewhere else. That's how it works. Their model is to promote your businesses, to promote your website. Well, now they're trying to keep people on their website. That's why the AI summary is coming up. It just wants to give you the answer so you stay in the Google ecosystem and maybe never even go to that website, because it just gives you the answer.
That's a Band-Aid for them.
Correct. So they want people to stay because they're losing users. So what's happening right now is most people are going to an AI chatbot like Google, Gemini, or ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever. They're asking these questions, and so because they're using something else, a different tool, it's affecting Google's results. So that's going to affect your business. So you need to understand that this is the hybrid year, maybe even next year too, where your website has to be optimized for SEO, and it's got to be optimized for this AEO stuff. There's a free class at BBB. We'll talk about that later, where I'll teach people all this stuff. But you're not going to show up on an AEO search. I guarantee it. Test it out right now today. Go try to see how your business pops up on an AI, prompt. But again, people aren't seeing this stuff. So about right now, what I'm hearing is that about 60% of people right now are using AI to find businesses, and that was zero like a year and a half ago. Yeah. I mean, it went from 0 to 60%. So a lot of businesses are losing out on a lot of revenue because they're not AI ready on their website, and they're not AEO ready specifically. There's different rules for this stuff.
And AEO being answer engine optimization.
Correct. There's actually, I've seen 3 or 4, this stuff's brand new, but there's 3 or 4 terms floating around out there. GEO is another one I'm hearing. I like AEO better, but I mean, we'll see when the dust settles what it is.
Yeah.
But
what's GEO?
I can't even remember what it is. Yeah, there's all these new terms popping up, and they'll disappear the next day.
Sure.
And, so it's this is a new frontier, folks.
It's fluid.
It's very fluid, but there's new terminology out there. Algorithmic anchors. content liquidity. These are new terms you all need to learn and know what they mean so that you can apply that to your website so that you'll get views from an AI bot. So it's tricky because you want human eyeballs, you want Google bots, and now you want AI in here for now. We're in this weird hybrid year, but you got to do all of it. And the good news is it's not that hard right now. It's not that expensive right now. And here's the other thing that's great. In this new way, in terms of the AEO that works, whatever you do today, whatever good work you put into your website and the business you get from that, you earn that 100% on the work that you do. Eventually they'll monetize it. Not yet, I'm sure. I don't know when, I don't know what, but I guarantee you they will.
Well, sure.
There's this weird time in space we're living in right now. Whatever good work you do, you'll get paid for it versus having to play somebody else's game and paying them to push you forward. So you're out there doing good work right now. It's equitable at the moment.
Give us however many 3-5 steps to take right now. Small business owner, under $500,000, doesn't matter the industry.
Yeah. So number one, you got to beef up your FAQs, your frequently asked questions. Because again, remember we're entering an answer economy. So if you've got really good answers, now you might have 5 or 10 FAQs on your website page now. You might end up with 50 to 100. And here's the best part. You need to ask AI to help you write them. So you would tell, here's my 10 FAQs, here's my URL, put this in a prompt. And then you would tell it specifically, I want you to write additional FAQs that you and your AI brethren would be interested in reading and learning about my business. What's going to write these FAQs so you'll promote me to a customer because I've got the information that you want. Have it help you write it. And it'll translate it in terms of what it's looking for because that's who you're writing it to. So you want a robust FAQ. You want a robust About Us page. Usually that's the most boring part of the website. And again, these are places humans aren't really going and looking. If a human stumbles into FAQ world on your page and there's 1,000 FAQs, what is this?
They're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not for them. It's for the robots, right? So the About Us, the services, beef that up, and the FAQs, those are 3 things you can beef up like today. Super easy. We're talking cut and paste, right? Those other things you got to do in terms of the website, won't get into today. But the other thing I will tell you is because these AI algorithms they're hard-coded, hardwired for trust because they make up answers. And so a lot of people are like, I'm not using it because I don't trust it because it's making things up. Well, the developers know that. So they're making sure these things are hardwired for trust. So as they went on the internet and learned about trust in business, guess which organization they love? It's Better Business Bureau. So when we talk about the trust mark on every single AI engine out there right now, BBB is the #1 most recognized trust mark for every single AI bot out there. It's BBB accreditation. BBB accreditation and our 8 standards of trust, we've been around for 100 years. We are the gold standard. And I think I heard this the other day from our national organization that we are the 3rd most utilized website for ChatGPT because everybody's asking about businesses. Yeah. So if you're BBB accredited, you're going to score higher in the AI algorithms. If you're not, they're going to score you down.
Good copy. All right, we're coming back right there because we're not done. We just gave them one piece of information. I want to give them a few more, and then I want to get a recommendation from you on what needs to be on all of our systems, minimum. Okay, so whether it's OpenAI or whatever you think. But stay with us, folks. As you can tell, the gravitas of this conversation is substantial. And I really want to encourage everybody within the region leaning in to check out the BBB's website, bbbsc.org. And if you can make it on August 15th, it's a full-day seminar on AI. You're going to walk away swimming, but with great notes and resources. It's a full day. August 15th, it's the Blaze AI Summit, and you can register online now for $50 off before the end of July at blazeaisummit.com. Back in a moment.
My experience with Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group has been top-notch. The whole orthopedic group, they've worked very well together. Even when I've gone through PT or needed to get my collar prosthetic, everybody's been just right on top of it. It's all centralized and the communications have been awesome. Even though I had my nervousness about going into surgery, I was still very confident. I knew I was going to be okay. Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group is definitely getting me back to my life and the things that I want to do.
All right, we're in the fourth quarter here with Jonathan Liebert, CEO of the BBB. We're talking all things AI, and folks, this is like trying to boil the ocean. It's just not going to happen. So I would highly recommend you attach yourself to the BBB's website, bbbsc.org. If you're in Southeast Colorado, you need to be paying attention to this. It does not matter what industry sector you're in. It has absolutely no regard for the size of your business. If you want to be in business in the next 24 to 36 months, folks, it's not a scare tactic. It's a reality that folks are utilizing technologies that are simply going to lap you if you're not participating. This is also what I see as a marketing executive is a unique opportunity to portray yourself in the answer economy as a solution to very specific problems that your business is wired to accomplish for people. And only you can tell that story as a business owner. So take this opportunity to embrace the tools that AI has to offer. Now, yes, there's plenty of news out there about AI does this and the deep fakes and all that. This is not the conversation we're having today. The conversation we're having today is about how to utilize the tool to your business advantage by using your unique value proposition, your language, your culture, your style of doing business, and appeal to more customers more quickly, more broadly than you ever have before. Because if you don't, your competitors are, or you can assume they are, and they will lap you. And you find yourself not appearing on search engine results or answer engine results, which is the chat realm, which is where people are searching. They're voicing commands into a search, an AI bot that is taking that information and giving them solutions outside of Google sometimes. So we've already talked about the SEO, AEO delineation. So if you missed that, go back to the third quarter and rehear what Jonathan has to say about that. Now we're trying to leave you with some pearls and some terms and definitions and maybe even some applications that you can go download into your systems and start learning. You're not going to make an error that's going to sabotage your business, okay? Just go out there and experiment and play with it and start to learn and understand how to use these to your advantage. Jonathan, I'm really glad you're here. But like I said, we can't boil the ocean.
Right?
Okay.
There's a lot.
Because there's really a tremendous amount here. But you've given us kind of an on-ramp to the discussion, and thank you for that. It's gentle. It's easy to understand and track. Now what I want to do is give you basically the next 10 minutes to unpack, some pearls of wisdom and some action items for a business of any kind, okay? And some of the applications that they may be able to utilize to their advantage. And
here's some good news too, before I get into that as well, is that at Better Business Bureau, I have 3 free AI classes, 3 every single month that we're offering people. And so Dirk, you mentioned the website, bbbsc.org. There's a button as you scroll halfway through the page. It says events and classes. Click on that and sign up for stuff. Take advantage of these classes. They're free. Here's the other thing I tell people is that this technology is growing so fast and moving so quickly. Usually you come take a class anywhere or do a certification online or something. You're good for a year. Not this. You can't get away with 1 year. Or here's the other thing I'm hearing that this is kind of spooking me. Small business owners, Jonathan, I'm using AI now. Great. And I've got my person over here that's my AI guy or gal that's doing it for our whole company. It's like, wait, what?
Wow.
You can't, that's not how this works. You can do it for IT, you can do it for cyber, you can do that for HR, right? You can't do it for this. Everybody's got to learn this tool because every job description is different, every personality is different. This stuff changes based on who's using it. Based on the questions that you ask and what you train it to do. You got to think with it. You can't just use it. It won't work. So you got to train it, right? Okay. So these are the stuff we'll talk about in class. So I do just an entry-level class on welcome to ChatGPT. My more advanced, my intermediate class is harnessing AI for small businesses. That's where we're going to talk about specific tools. I'm going to give you a roadmap of how you implement this at your business and have a strategy. You've got to have an AI use policy for this. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble. I can give you a template, at this class. And then the third class we have it's just all on AEO. So that's my more advanced class. So you got to learn that your website's got to be upgraded, updated, changing things. And this is changing all the time. I'm getting information straight from a company out east that's helping to build this new way of thinking for this. And so they're friends with Better Business Bureau. And so they're giving me data, and I'm giving it straight to my friends here in Colorado to make sure that everybody here has this information. This is my mission at Better Business Bureau. I'm a nonprofit. So I'm here to make sure, doing my job of like all the people that I accredit and our entire small business community, I want to make sure they're ready to go for this, because as we keep saying, if you don't start implementing this stuff quick, you're done.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's important for people to understand is like, you got to know that you got to make sure you're using this information and then move quickly. This is your opportunity now to grab a lot of market share. The reset button happened last year. Nobody realizes this. Like, it got reset for everybody, big and small companies. And whoever's going to utilize this technology the quickest and the best is going to gain more market share. But if you don't do anything, I hear a lot, I'm going to wait and see. This is the one thing you can't adopt, a wait and see approach. Like, you got to go now, as you said, just try it out, mess around with it. You can't break it. Don't feed in information that be smart. Don't put in your bank account information. Don't put in social security numbers. Don't put, those types of personal health information. But in general, this stuff will help you strategize about new revenue lines. It'll help you strategize about new things to do. But if you're not using it, if you don't think with AI, because you got to think different about it, it's not like a Google search. You got to retrain your brain. But once it clicks and you get it, well, what else can these technologies do? And you should be using several things. So you should be using, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever. There's a whole bunch of other tools out there. So there's software where you can, write songs with it, just, for fun. So it's called Suno as an app. There's a great one called that Google puts out. It's called Notebook. It's from DeepMind, and it's called Notebook LM. And so what that is it's basically, it makes podcasts off of documents. So you can download PDFs and you can create these podcasts. I use it to learn new things, or I'm using it and we can put it in a newsletter. So it just summarizes all the conversation today. We can make a podcast out of that in a second with AI. I mean, it's amazing what these tools can do. You can do videos. I'm using a tool called Synthesia that creates videos for my accredited businesses that I'm going to start emailing them out, training videos and informational videos. It's like using PowerPoint. I can make a video that would cost me normally $36,000, cost me $90 a month, and I can make a whole bunch of these videos and I can make them in 45 minutes on my own. So again, and they're only getting better and they're only getting smarter. And so again, a lot of the tools and technology that businesses didn't have before, they can start to use it now. The other thing I'll tell people is that most people are familiar with generative AI, and that's the exciting terminology, and that's true. However, generative AI, that's so 2024. The stuff moves fast.
Yeah.
The stuff businesses need to know today, nobody knows this, and you're going to hear it now. So you need to learn about agentic AI. Agentic AI is where you build a bot, and I have one at BBB I'm going to launch here in a week, and you're going to call, his name is Ben, stands for Business Engagement Navigator. Ben's going to call people on the phone. You'll be able to talk to him. You have a British accent, so you know who I'm talking about. Oh, this British guy, this is from BBB. This is Ben. and Ben's going to call you and say, hey, we got these free BBB classes on AI. You should come check it out. And Ben, are you human? No, I'm actually an AI assistant, and I was made to help businesses sign up for class. So you can build these things into your phone. Then Ben will email you, text you, talk to you. And again, these are tools that I could never afford, a year ago. Yeah. Now I can build multiple, Bens. Agentic bots that do a task that you ask it to do, and they do a function. So business said you learn about that because you can streamline a lot of your business processes. And
Come
again,
on.
Get rid of the busy stuff, folks. Focus on strategy.
Agentic bots. I'm actually writing it down. Okay.
Yep. Agentic AI, that's 2025.
Okay, that's 2025.
2026 will be something else.
Oh, geez. Okay. So those are some of the applications that we can download into our universe and start experimenting with.
Yep.
So video has one, photography has another, content has yet another.
Websites, social media.
Keep it going. Yeah.
They have, there's something for everything.
Okay.
And that's what's interesting for most people. They don't even realize.
Yeah.
I just saw one today that it's the first one that's going to do interview hiring for people.
Oh.
And it's like, well, that's interesting. But again, there's AI that will be lots of things. And there's also some great companies here in town that can build something custom for you and that's extremely affordable. So again, the cost to produce this stuff is cheap, and it'll be cheaper because honestly, if you know this stuff well enough, you can build it on your own.
All right, Jonathan. So we've created enough animosity out there in this conversation to probably stress out the fissures in Colorado's land here. But look, help us understand or strike a balance between the urgency of getting on board with this versus panic.
Yeah.
Okay. Help us out with that, and then close us out with a little more on this AI Summit.
Yeah. So it's about knowledge and education. You got to relearn what you've learned. And again, I've got these free classes. I will help you with that. There's a lot of free stuff out there. Take advantage of it. But again, come to the BBB as well. So again, we're local. It's specifically geared towards small business to kind of get over the fear, because that's usually what it is. You got to use this stuff ethically on the Better Business Bureau. Got to throw ethics in there.
Yes.
But again, if you're afraid of this stuff, it's going to take you out of the person or the business that knows AI better than you will put you out of business. So use it the right way. We'll talk about that in these classes that I'm offering. But if you're afraid of it or you got concerns, come to class and ask them. A lot of time, we go philosophical really quick on this stuff in these classes. And it's really interesting for me to teach, because usually it's a technology thing. And we go really quick to, well, what does it even mean to be human in this age, Jonathan? What does that look like? How does this work?
Sure.
And the great stuff comes out in these, that's the whole point. Until you start asking questions and get familiarized with it, you're going to stay in the dark. And if nothing else, come learn about it so you don't get scammed, because you'll need these skills not only for your business, but also if somebody's sending a video or calling you on the phone and it's fake. So it'll help you for a lot of different ways to learn these tools.
All right, the AI Summit. Hit us again.
That's August 15th. It's going to be at the VT Innovation Hub down there off Garden of the Gods Road. It's going to be from 8 o'clock till 4:30. We're going to go to Red Lake Brewing afterwards for just a fun, kind of relaxed and happy hour. But what's most important is that we have AI experts from across Colorado that are actually programming it, doing the work, building these agentic tools that are going to come and teach you how to do this stuff. So it's going to be very hands-on and very practical. Our goal is to give you at least 5 things that day that you're going to do on your phone while you're in session, or as soon as you leave, like, I'm going to go do this. I know how to build a website in 10 seconds.
Ooh.
I know how to build a PowerPoint.
Okay.
To build all these things. So, and then ask them questions along the way for your business and tee you up for success. But you're going to hear straight from some of the experts in Colorado. We got a lot of good ones here.
$150 if you do this before the end of July, and you go to blazeaisummit.com, get registered. Then you're going to fight full price on August 1st, but it's worth every penny, folks. Get out there and get to this seminar. I'm going. I'm definitely taking a couple of senior team members to, just start baking this into our culture. So, Jonathan, this was worth every moment. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. If you missed this full interview, go out to Spotify, iHeart, or Apple Podcast, download Business Digest Radio, and you're going to find this conversation. I would recommend you listen to it a couple of times, because there's some great pearls in here. And again, bbbst.org for the website for the Better Business Bureau, and blazeaisummit.com. Jonathan Liebert, CEO of the BBB. Thank you, sir.
Thanks again.
Folks, see you next week.
You've been tuned in to Business Digest Weekly with Dirk Hobbs. If you'd like to be considered for a spot on our show, email us at info@coloradomediagroup.com.